Welcome, everyone. How are we all going? So, last week I touched on sharing about different realms. So, there are so many amazing, incredible realms in the spirit that we can access. And a lot of people use formulas to try and get into them. And some of them are okay. Some of them don't work for a lot of people. And I just, my whole foundation is all about the intimacy and your connection with Creator, with God. When you're in that intimate space, then all these possibilities open up. And a lot of them, like I said, I only share what I personally have experienced. A lot of them were, spontaneous. They were just happened. But some of them I sought for. I was asking for them. And I started to meditate on them and think about them and ponder about them and let it start to percolate in my spirit. And then that opens the gateway to have these encounters as well, or go into these different realms. So I'm going to share with you some of the realms that I've been taken into. Some of them, I can go, some of them I sit in on a regular basis. Some of them I visit simply because of the task at hand, whether I need to go into a different realm for certain reasons, or a different type of I don't want to call them a mission, because it's the word mission derives, not a lot of not very pleasant thoughts for a lot of people, but, on assignment. So that's the word I was looking for. So let me just list some of the things, and then we can, some of the experiences that I've had, and then we can go from there. Also, what I want to present in the next little while too is I want to take you on the next level of doing ley lines, because there's some things brewing in the spirit that's really important that we start to get a hold of, and then start bringing some healing to the earth. And I'm also doing field trips where I'm taking people to teach them how to feel those portals or recognize them, but also what to do with what you see. This is the problem with a lot of people, is they experience the presence of God, whether it's in a church setting or whether it's talking to somebody, doesn't matter where, but then they go, oh, I got all goosey, but they don't take it that next step. They sit in that, oh, wow, the presence is here. But my, where I come from is, if God is moving, if the Spirit's moving, there's a reason. Sometimes it is just to give you comfort or to let you know that He's there. But we kind of got to grow up a little bit and go next level, and not just stay in we felt the presence and the Spirit was moving, but then what was He moving to do? What was He wanting to do? What was His heart's desire in that situation? And this is where I'm always encouraging you guys to ask questions. Come back into, seeking Him and finding out what He wants to do, what He wants to say to you, and what He wants to be for you in that situation. Often we put the shoe on the other foot, and we're trying to be something for God. We're trying to do things for God, when He wants us to sit back and do and be all that He wants to do and be for us. So it's like we've got, well, let me put it this way. Religion has everything reversed. It's like we have to work to get God's acceptance. We have to work to earn His love, when it's That's not true. That is not who God is. That's not how he works. He already loves you. He's already working on your behalf. Even before you even come into an encounter or connection with him, he's working on your behalf to come into that encounter, to come into that union of relationship with him, that awareness of the spirit realm of who you are and what you carry and what you release on the earth. So, this has been the fun part of doing life, is when we're continually growing and learning, and it never stops. It never stops. I'm something new every day, every week, and I'm loving it. I wouldn't want to live life any other way. So the most important thing that we come from is this awesomeness and wonder of who God is, who the creator is, what the spirit is. We look at the earth, and the earth is, beautiful, and we acknowledge that, but we forget to acknowledge the creator. And that's where we stay in a place of heart, in a heart of awesomeness and wonder. And, it's good to, it doesn't matter what you're facing, it's good to sit back and go, God, you're amazing. I choose to trust you because you are amazing. You are awesome. You are incredible. And I know you've got me. So, this is the enlightenment of understanding joins us into the joy of God and the unconditional love, and that he's forever present. He's always with us. He's always for us. He's not against us. So these are some of the mind shifts that we need to change. And then when we come out of that, we step into different experiences in the spirit. We can, experience a real joy or a real uplifting. We can experience life. Our body can start to vibrate, because of the presence that we're encountering. You can break out in laughter. There's nothing like a good laugh. There's nothing like a good little dance or a little twist or a little, a bit of fun, because God is that. He's not this ogre that's waiting to wrap you over the head or kick you up the behind because you're not doing what he's telling you to do every second of the day. And this is part of what's breaking off the earth, and it's breaking off a lot of people, is that spell. It is a spell. We've been hoodwinked to believe that this is what God is and who God is, when that's not who he is at all. I've had the best times with God on a jet ski, or, skiing behind a boat. I go, come on, God, let's go. We're having fun today. And I'm in. And then I also know I'm always protected as well, because he's with me in it. So some of the rooms, or let me put it this way, there's a scripture for those that want a scripture. It says, in my Father's house, there are many rooms. Now, people have interpreted that as being, oh, here's your room, here's my room, that's your room. Like when we die, we all get a room, or we all get a mansion, whatever your, what you've been taught. But it actually means realms. So in God's creation, there are many realms. And really, we are people that live in two realms. We live here on the earth, but we're also spirit. So we live in the spiritual realm. And we're breaking more into that awareness. So there's a couple of rooms that I'm going to touch on today that is that there is a room which is called where your destiny, your scroll of destiny is in that room. Now, I've always seen it as a library. When I've gone into it, it's been a journey of these huge doors. And then I've, stepped through the doors into this incredible library. And I went walking through this library, and I was directed by the Spirit to find the book with my name written on it, my family's name on it. And then I took the book out and we put it on a big table and just opened the book. Right. So that's one of the realms that you can go to. It's your destiny, your scrolls of destiny. They call it the Acacia Records, is another name that people have been calling it. And that's really interesting because it's like you can go into this room and you can start asking for your blueprint of your purpose and your plan. Now, I find for me that when I've entered these rooms, particularly when I'm asking for, okay, what's my destiny? What's my purpose? What's my blueprint? Why am I here on the earth? Right? Because when you get an understanding of that, you have a greater piece of the journey that you're on. A lot of people are striving for, why am I here? Life's not worth much. We just do the same old, same old. Yeah, because that's how they've designed it. And we need to come out from under that. But with me, I find that I often get, I'll have a vision or I'll have a dream, or the Spirit will start talking to me. He'll tell me. And often what happens in my life, my journey life, I'm walking through, and then I'll go, oh my gosh, I feel like I've been here before. And people go, oh, that's deja vu. And you used to have a present, a past life. And I'm like, no, it's because I've already seen it in the Spirit. I've already experienced it in my spirit, and now my body's caught up with what the Spirit has been showing me, and I've stepped into it. And I love those moments because it's a confirmation that I'm on the right track. It tells me that, I'm where I'm meant to be. So it brings, and then I'm there for a reason. So then I can express that reason in that moment. I can see what it does. And I've had lots of those, and I love them as I've gone through my life, stepping into those situations going, oh, that's right. You showed me that. You showed me that. You told me that. I saw that. And these are all fun things in the Spirit. There's also a garden. There's a realm where it's like a garden. I know a lot of people experience the garden. They go in there and it's these beautiful, vibrant green colors, and it's real tranquil. People often talk about a tree, a big tree, and they go and sit underneath the tree, and that they're connected then with, with God, Creator, in the Spirit. And lots of people talk about the garden, which is another realm. There's also the courtroom. So some of you would have heard that, the courtroom, that you go into the courts and you experience where you receive justice. That's another realm that you can go into. And it's a very powerful realm. It's a realm that brings very dramatic change, but it's a real place of utter humility and surrender, because you're coming up, you're presenting things before the Creator that really everything's laid bare. So if you're not prepared to be really honest with yourself, it's not a place you want to go. It's really, you've got to be very surrendered, and it's accountability, because sometimes the things that we think we deserve justice in, we actually need to be the ones that apologize. Or in other words, if you want to use the word repent, because repent means to come up and change the way you are thinking. And again, repentance, the word repentance has been used to hit you over the head, saying, you know, you're a sinner and you need to repent and, you know, God's going to punish you. When you look at the truth of the word, and this is what we need to start doing, is looking at words, looking at the depth of the words of what they really mean. And it means to come up and turn around, come up and think a different way. So means to turn around, and pent is associated with penthouse. So it means coming up to a higher level and change the way you're thinking. So there's so many of those sort of things that we've been taught one way when it actually means something completely different. There's also, some of these I'm going, okay, you're all going to go, what? There is a room with body parts. Now, this I've personally had witnessed an encounter where some people went to the body part room, and this gentleman's still a very good friend of mine. He got his back completely healed and replaced. He had a damaged back from very young, and now he's got a perfectly healthy back. So, and we went to the body part room. And so these are the things that we've got to break out of this thinking that, oh, well, you know, my knee's no good, so I've got to put up with it the rest of my life. Maybe you need to go to the body part room and get a new knee. Like, we've got to break out of the limitations of what's available to us. And, you know, we talk about healings and miracles. This is where we can do it for ourselves with the Creator. We don't need to wait for some, you know, and I'll use Christian words, you know, a prophet or an evangelist or someone that has a healing ministry to come along and heal your issues. You have the power to deal with your own. And that's why if you're going through things, doesn't matter what it is, physically, emotionally, spiritually, always ask God for the answers. You know, there's the realm of wisdom that we can tap into. There's a realm of revelation that you can tap in. And it's not like, oh, okay, I'll step into that room and I'll step into that room. Remember, it's a house. So the house is like, if I'm in my bedroom, if I want to go to the bathroom, I just walk through the door. I don't have to go to someone else's house to go to the bathroom. Does that make sense? It's like it's all here around us and with us. It's just a case of turning into it. You know, it's a case of just, this is my need, right? This is what I need right now, and I need assistance with this. So let's ask those questions. Please send me the people that you want me to have in my life that's going to help me get there, if that's the case. You know, or just, I always prefer to go straight to God, which I've shared many a times, is that, you know, He knows what I need. So I trust Him with my needs and my wants and my desires, because He's involved with all of them. And this is where we've been fragmented in our spirituality, because we've been condemned that if you want a nice car or you desire a nice car, well, then, you know, there's something wrong with you, because it's like, well, you know, poverty is next to godliness. That is the biggest lie ever. That is the biggest rort. Sorry, hang on, guys. I've got in a situation. Sorry, hang on. Sorry.
I'm trying to avoid your. Halfway through.
All right. Just apologies, guys, that we've just been told they're going to drop out, cut off our internet here. So my daughter is beautifully trying to help me make sure that that doesn't happen. going to set that up, so I'll keep talking. So part of it is, you know, us realizing that we are not limited. We are not restricted. Was even what New Age has told us, because we are limitless. Thank you so much, sweetie. So she's a good girl. So this is what we're breaking out from under. We are, you know, no more, like I said, if you need to rip up a box, go and rip up a box. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't be put in these boxes that we have been taught and educated and programmed with. This is what's so exciting about this season and this time, is we're breaking out from that. We're tapping into our potential. We're tapping into all that is possible, and that we're tapping into the truth of who we are. So kind of these are some of the things, some of the realms that we have access to. I mean, there's more than that as well. Like, we can go out into the galaxies, you know, we can go out into the stars. There's lots of things there, but I didn't want to blow you out of the water too much. But I want to guide you and encourage you to what is possible for you. So let me touch on a little bit about what happens when you start to step into these different realms, right? So you're having an encounter in a realm or a different realm, right? It can present itself in a physical way, which is what I was saying earlier. You might get that tingling feeling all over. You might start to laugh. You might bubble up with joy. You know, you might want to do a hop, skip, and a jump. You know, you might want to run around outside with your arms waving around your head. It's like sometimes those expressions, or not sometimes, all of the time that you release yourself to have that expression, you are breaking and moving things off your life. Sometimes a good scream is well due and well needed. And we've been taught to be inhibited, to be, you know, oh, we can't do that, or that's not acceptable, or, you know, what will people think? And we've got to break off that. Doesn't matter what people think. The most important thing is that you are being true to you and coming into full alignment of you, of the creation that you are. So sometimes you might break out in song. You know, and we all naturally move to music because we're frequency and we're vibration. So we naturally connect and move with that. Like, I love listening to drums. Drums just, they just go to my absolute inner being. I love it. You know, it sends me because I just love the sound of drums. And I'm not talking like I'm talking about all types of drums. It could be a native drum, all that sort of thing. You know, a good drummer on a drum. Yeah, absolutely love it. It connects to me, and I connect to it. So you might want to clap your hands, you know, or stand perfectly still. So these are some of the interesting things that can happen. But mostly you're wanting to get insight. You want to understand. You want to get revelation. And it could be past, present, or future. And this is where I find I'm very open to hearing what other people's you know, point of view is. You know, and a lot of people talk about, you know, the reincarnation. It's a real thing at the moment. Everyone's talking about reincarnation. And everyone's talking about, you know, casting out demons. And I find the reincarnation thing, because I've never really worried about it, never really thought about it. And I'm like, okay, what's happening with that? Everyone's talking about it, but why is this something all of a sudden a thing? And I just felt the spirit show me it's because it keeps them locked in consciously into the past, because people are oh yeah, I was a queen in Egypt, and they're trying to be a queen in Egypt, but they're living in the 20th century. So it's really interesting to see what happens with that. And like I'm starting to more and more, it's like, okay, this seems to be the language on the street. Why? Who has started that, and why is it? Is it, yes, that's right, locked in a cycle. That's right, Hans. Because they constantly, and they're going, oh, if you don't learn the lessons, you get to come back and learn more lessons. I'm sorry, but I'm only doing this once. I got, other things to do in other realms. I'm only doing this one once. And because part of that, let me unpack this for a minute. This is my point of view. Please don't get offended. If we keep saying, well, if I don't learn the lessons, I get to come back, why would you bother learning the lessons? It's like, well, it becomes really blasé. It becomes, oh, well, if I don't learn it this time, I'll learn it next time. I don't get that. I don't get that kind of thinking. I'm like, I want to learn the lesson now so I can move on and I can grow and I can become better. I can become wiser. I can, do more on the earth here and now, not just sit and go, oh, well, I'll learn that lesson next time round. It doesn't gel with me. It doesn't sit with my spirit either. And as you grow in your spirituality, you start to realize what's truth and what's not. That discernment grows very quickly. And part of this too, the enemy attacks on shutting down true spiritual encounters and expression, right? And he fills it with mind science to fill the gap, and it stops the supernatural experiences, and it's anti-God, and that is the worldview. So we need to stop and go, hang on a minute, is this from God or is this the worldview? Is this the agenda that's been shared or peddled to then keep us trapped again? So these are the things, guys, you ask those questions. I really want to encourage you in that. And we really are in a forced change, and it's happening. It's actually accelerating. I want to tell you that. And we are returning back to them being mystics. We're turning back to being supernatural and naturally super connected to the Creator and to God. We are in it. No one can evade what is happening on the earth right now. Some are a bit slower, but they are still happening. Even the younger generation is starting to go, whoa, hang on a minute, and ask great questions. And it's really exciting to see. I'm really excited about that. And they're starting to share with me some of their, hey, I feel like I'm phasing in and out. That's because we're spiritual. We're in two realms. We're in the world and we're in the spirit. So there's this phasing experience. And there's a name for it. Let me tell you what it's called. I've written it down. I just have so many notes, guys. It's called a leg. I wanted to say it right. Hang on. So, these are the things that are happening all around us. And it is really exciting. It really is. So, no, can't find. It's a ligature. And what happens when you go into a ligature, it's like a trance. And sometimes people are unable to move, speak, or think because they're in a full trance. But a ligature can come in degrees, right? And it's that sense of phasing in and out. It's like you're doing one thing, but you're not really here. You're somewhere else, which is in the spirit. This happens to me a lot while I'm driving. I've never had an accident, but I'll go. I often spend time in the spirit when I'm driving because it's my own time. It's my own space. I'm by myself. And I tell you what helps is the fact that I'm moving. When a car's moving, it actually ignites something in me because I'm moving. And I'm not a person that sits still very long, but yeah, when I'm in the car, because I get to go faster, it ignites it even quicker. It's like, yeah, whoa, here we come. And I'll go away into the spirit. And sometimes, and I've had this, is all of a sudden if I don't have the GPS on to tell me to bring me back here, I have driven for hours and miss where I'm meant to go because I'm so caught up in the spirit. And then I go, oh my gosh, I've because I didn't put the GPS on, because that little voice brings me back into what I have to do now. And that, one day I was going to work and I drove 3/4 an hour past the turnoff, and then realized, oh my gosh, I'm going to be late for work. So then I had to call on supernatural time, and I got to work with 2 minutes to spare. So these are some of the things that can happen to you. And it's fun. I had to laugh. At first I was like, oh no, I've missed the turn off. I'm going to be late. And I went, no, hang on a minute. We have a solution. Right. We're going to call on, expedient time. We're going to get there on time. No tickets, no breaking the law. And I'll be there on time. And I was 2 minutes. So we can, a trance is where you do things, but you're in complete union with God. So a trance, I mean, I've got a girlfriend, when she goes into a trance, she is out for the count and her body is complete. She goes for hours and hours. And sometimes we've had to carry her and put her in the back of a station wagon to get her home. She goes as stiff as a board, and she's not a big person, but I tell you, when they go into a trance, they are like a dead weight. And it would take heaps of us to carry her to get her into the car, and she's still in this position. Like, it's really interesting to watch. I've only met one person that does that, and that's my friend. But she's a real wonder, and how she connects in the spirit is completely different to how I connect. But we work really well together because I'm a seer, so I see what's happening for her. So, and that's the same as when the people went to the body part room. I saw where they went, and I actually wanted to go because I just wanted to go. And the spirit said to me, no, you need to stay here and you need to facilitate it. Right. So that's part of when you're leading people into these things. It's, there's a sense of responsibility of making sure that everyone's okay as well. Because you've got people that are watching it, and you don't want them freaking out or manifesting, or, just making sure that everyone stays in that safe place. Remember, we talked about that last week. We carry that presence of being in a safe place. There's no ego, there's no agenda. It's just pure heart and caring for others to step into these experiences because they're fun. They're fun. God is fun. If there's times that he needs me to be serious, then we can do that. I just flow. I ebb and flow with how the spirit is moving in what we're doing. And can I say this, guys? This is another box that I just feel to tap into. Again, religion has talked about, oh, you're a prophet, you're a pastor, you're an evangelist, your helps, right? It's funny how 99% of the church all have helps ministry, and that's another box, because when you start to mature in your spirituality, you can tap into all of those. There are times I'm a teacher. There's times that I'm an oracle, like I see the future. There's times that I bring healing to people and encouragement. So, these are the things that, we've got to break out of that box. As soon as someone says, oh, you're a girl and you can't do that, I just go, watch me. Because God is not gender based. We all carry both male and female. God is both male and female. And we are not, just because you're a girl, just because I've come in a body form that's female, doesn't mean that I can't do lots of other things, right? And that's the shift that's coming on the earth as well, but it's going too far. It's now we're going, men are trying to become women, women are trying to become men. Then we've got people that are identifying as fluffies and all this sort of stuff. I go, this is such a distortion, but it's because the earth and the spirit realm are trying to bring balance. So it'll go one way and then the other, and then it'll come back into right perspective. So these are some of the things that are happening around us. The thing about like trances is it enables us to bypass the restrictions of our mind and our emotions, right? Like when I go into that higher realm, my mind's not hindering anything. It's just this pure connection. So there's some of the things. I mean, there's so much more, guys. Like there's, spirit travel, and there's, teleportation. There's flight of the spirit, which is translotation. You got transportation, levitation. Like there's so many things in the spirit that's available to us, and it's part of the fun and the journey is like, particularly with levitation, I was like, okay, I'm open to that, because what's happened is the enemy makes everything like dark. He puts this swinger, oh, that's from the devil, that's the occult, when it's actually not. It belongs to the sons and daughters of God. And so this is why it's being withheld from us as well. And so I decided to explore levitation. I was like, okay, God, if that's, if that's part of what you have for me, I want to experience it. And so how it is I start to meditate on it. I start to think about the possibility of it. I don't go seeking it in my flesh. I seek for it in the spirit. Anyway, one night I woke up and I was 2 feet above my bed. So I had this levitation experience. Do I need to do it again? No. I was happy with that experience. I thought it was really cool. And the vibration of the body was really incredible. Like I was just vibrating, and I was above my bed, and that was okay. I woke up and went back onto the bed, and I was like, well, that's really cool. Well, I've done that. Next. So whereas a lot of people go, oh, this is demonic. It's not. Jesus levitated. I can pull out so many stories that we are not told from scripture because it doesn't fit the narrative of religion that is available to us. And this is where we're coming into truth. We're coming into what, biblically, the truth of what's in the Bible, not the religious dogma, not this you can't do that scenario, or, unless you're a leader or a pastor in a church, or, unless you're a new age guru or a shaman, you can't do all this stuff. And that's, guys, I'm going to break that bubble every time, because this is what hinders a lot of people from stepping into the fullness of what God has created you for and what he wants for you. It's a totally different mindset. We're breaking out of it. If you're even artistically, you can paint paintings that are totally spirit inspired, that are extraordinary. And you just go, wow. And that person goes, I have no natural art skills, but this is what happened. So my whole walk with God is that I have done things that I have no capability, natural capability, but I've done it in the spirit. And I love tapping into that because it takes me beyond myself and into the things that God has for me. I like being stretched. I'm not afraid to step out and walk on the water, so to speak, because I know after all these years, I know that God will always meet me in it. And so it's like, God, I don't know how to do this. How do I handle this situation? This is how you handle it. And I've been in many situations that could potentially have been a do or die situation. And I've faced it. I haven't looked for it. It's come my way. And I've gone, okay, God, how do I deal with this? And he has led me through it. I was just thinking what if I should share some of those stories or not. But yeah, so always just continually engaging, because it's there. It's all around us. It's energy, it's frequency, it's the love of God. It's in momentum all the time. So, if you're feeling flat and stagnant, well, get up and do something. Like start to engage. There's too many people sitting behind their televisions or Netflix or whatever, watching someone else supposedly living their life, which is all programming, and not living life for themselves. It's like, go for a walk, go and make friends. People say, I'm lonely, I don't have friends. Well, are you being a friend to anybody? It's up to us what kind of life that we have. And we can choose. We can choose who we want to connect with and who we don't want to connect with. Now, I want to, and I think I'll go into this next week, but I'm going to give a touch of it right now because I really want to give a good foundation of this. One of the most incredible tools in the spirit that can enable you to encounter, and it's a gift, it's not a have to, there's no have to's in God, is what we call a light language, or speaking in tongues, or prayer language. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with that, but it really is a very, very powerful gift and tool that can help you connect spiritually, but also into the different spirit realms. Now, again, I want to reiterate, this is not a have to. This is by choice. This is a gift if you want it. Now, when I had my encounter when I was 23, I was like, I want it all. Okay, I want it all. Doesn't matter what I have to do, I want it all. So within a couple of days of having that incredible encounter where I, was virtually 1 minute one person and another person the next, and I could see into the spirit realm, and I saw the enemy and I saw the angelic, and, I had a face-to-face encounter with God. One of the gifts is light language or speaking in tongues. And I'm like, I want it. And and it took a little while, but then I got it. And if you're open to it, I was thinking next week maybe I could share what that is and how it works and how you can access it or tap into it. It really messes with the mind because it has to bypass the mind, right? You can't come at this subject or this spiritual gift with your head. The head comes in later, and I'll explain all that in depth I've written about 10 pages on it for you last night, on on how it works, how you can access it, why you would want it, and then what I'd like to do is activate it in everyone if they want to. Right? That's just an invitation. Remember, it's nobody has to do anything. So that's what I'd like to speak about next week. And then we can tap into more of the rooms, the spiritual rooms. Like I'm sure everyone here would love to go into there, grab their scroll of destiny. Yeah. Some of you already know, and that's great, but you can build on that. Like I know what I'm here for, but then I go, okay, God, well, does it look like, is it going to look more like this or does it look more like that? And you do come to a place when you know that you don't actually keep asking because you know the direction that you're on and where you're going to. So with the light, let me just touch back on the light language. I had 120 people in a hall, and I went, I'm just going to talk about light language. And I activated 120 people into talking into a light language. And they weren't churched. They weren't, it was completely new for them. And a lot of it changed their life. Because they started to, part of speaking in light language is that you release it into your body. So then it starts to heal the DNA of your body. It starts to transform you into the spiritual being that you truly are designed. So it's a very, very powerful gift and tool. And I use it all the time. I've noticed as I've grown more in my connection with God, I don't need it as much. But when I face a situation that needs real clarity, then I will use my light language to get deeper wisdom, understanding. And also it bypasses my brain. Now, scientifically, it's been proven when people speak light language, it activates different parts of their brain. It's been proven scientifically. So it's not a pie in the sky thing. It's not, oh, this is a load of, rubbish. It actually does change your frequency. It changes your body and it brings alignment. And most of all, it bypasses the programming that we've been under. And this is not a gift that the enemy wants many of us to have. Because if we start bypassing the programming and waking up to who we really are and what we're here on the earth for, he is already defeated, but it means he can't operate like he does. So that's the shift that's coming into the earth. The other thing I've got for you guys is I want to take you also down another level of ley lines in the next couple of weeks, the next level, because there's a lot of, I don't want to put it work, but there are assignments that we need to start going on, and you can do it in your town. I'm starting to do it here with a group of people and start healing the earth. And I really want to show you the importance of that and our job in that. I don't call it a job because I just love it. It's just who we are. So when I use job, it's like, no, it's not work. It's joy. It's exciting. And this is where we stay in the wonderment, the awesomeness of God. If we stay in that resonating in that, how incredible he is. Doesn't matter what your circumstances are. It doesn't matter, what you're facing. if you step into that, you know, the new age call it gratitude, and that's fine. Gratitude's very powerful. But if you step into that gratitude and that awe and wonder of the creator, and then also look at yourself in awe and wonder. I mean, every second of the day, you've got a billion miracles happening in your body to keep you functioning the way that you do. It's amazing the fact that you wake up in the morning and you have breath, because the difference between being here and not here is breath. So this is, you know, wake up excited for your life, guys. Wake up excited for the day that you have ahead, because both those things put an intention into your day on what your day is going to be like. If people, and you know, we have so many, oh, you know, it's Monday morning, oh, everyone's grumpy on Monday morning, you know, and then, oh, Wednesday's, you know, hump day, because, oh, it's the middle of the week and it's such drudgery. It's like, yeah, you're like, what? It's like, even when you have to do things that are a little bit mundane, you can bring joy and you can bring fun into it. I know a lot of women that, you know, bringing up kids, or I used to witness it when I was bringing up my kids. They're like, oh my gosh, you know, another day, this is hard work. And I'm like, what? I love this. And they look at me like I've got two heads, because I'm like, kids, I love my kids. Come on, kids, let's go. Get in the car. We're off on an adventure. And that's how I brought them up. Life was an adventure. We'd never sat in front of the TV. I never plonked them in front of the TV. I never put them in front of a phone or anything like that. We were out in nature having fun and giving them lots of wild experiences. It's like, oh, you want to learn basketball? Okay, let's go learn basketball. Oh, you want to learn hockey? Okay, let's go learn hockey. And my kids are good at all of them. So they could have chosen to be any one of those sort of things, because they were brought up to be fearless and confident. And anyone that said anything other than that to them, I would go, you don't say that to my kids. And I would counteract it by going, nah, you're fearless, remember? You're up in that tree. Let's see if you can go higher. Because mothers on the ground would be going, oh my gosh, your kids are in the tree and they're going to fall. I'm going, no, they're not. Don't you speak that rubbish over my kids. I never said that. I'll go, no, they're not. And then I would go, can you go higher? And the kids will look at me and go, yeah, I think I can, Mum. And then, you know, they might go, no, I think I'm high enough. That's great. That's great. You sit where with you're comfortable. We need to stop apologizing for, you know, for standing up for what is truth and what is right. And, you know, a simple action of counteracting what someone has said negative counteracts it. Silence is what they call acquiescence. It means I'm agreeing. Don't be silent. But you don't have to be rude about it either. It's like, you know, just counteract it with, oh, but what if something happens? Nothing's going to happen. Right? So you're already changing that in the words that are spoken, because remember, our words are there to create. So if someone speaks negative, that's why I won't be a part of anyone that talks negative about other people. I'll listen to them, but then I will go, but hang on a minute. Let's look at the other side of this. Are they behaving like this because they're hurt? Or are you misunderstanding them? Because I know that person and they've got a really good heart. They are beautiful people. These are the things we need to start doing, guys, and stop listening to the BS and then taking on other people's offense because they spoke something wrong about that person. And then we go, oh well, we find out for yourself, find out truth, yeah? It's time to step into truth in every aspect, every realm, and it's exciting. But I'm going to stop there. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was clear enough and I didn't wander a little bit too much. So, yeah. Yep, some hearts would be really good. Awesome. Thank you, guys. All right, so next week, if you want to be part of connecting to the spirit, as in the light language, I've already got it already prepared for you, and let's have some fun with that, and then we'll take it from there. It will change your life. It will mess with your head, and you know what I've noticed? When your head gets offended, it reveals who your heart is. So some people are going to go, "Oh, what's this rubbish?" Well, it ain't rubbish, baby. It is one of the most powerful spiritual tools that you can access into, and we need more of us to be doing it, because this is how we shift lots of things. And you know what I love about it the most? The enemy doesn't know what you're saying. And I'll talk about that next week. Love you guys. Have a great week.